lovely. Tell me a little bit, how long have you been singing? Forever?
Yeah, late elementary school.
Okay, forever. Sometimes when we start advancing, we tend to forget about some of the basic things, that if we readdress them and go back to kind of the beginning and the very kind of basic thing, we can go back and we can perhaps tweak a little bit about what we're doing and improve it. And I think that although breathing seems to be something that seems like, well, I learned to breathe in elementary school, or I breathe all the time and I don't think about it, we need to be really clear and mindful that vocally we can always get better at breathing. I'm still working on getting it better. I think that when we stop working is really when the death of all this happens. So we can always get better, and that's what I really want to take the opportunity to do a little bit with you. Let's look a little bit at posture and breath, and how we start and how we actually use the air. Have you heard this term? I know you have. Everyone always throws it around, singing on the breath, and on the breath singing. So this sounds and is quite a metaphor, but at the same time it's practical. So let's look at it both ways and see physically what we're doing that we can improve, and then also maybe mentally some things we can think about to help this, okay? Because tell me one thing that you want to improve about your singing, because I have an idea already what that is, but you tell me. What's the one thing you think you want to improve about your singing?
Well, I want to make it throughout the phrases and not I'm trying to get through. You know what I mean?
Right. So again, back to breath, right? Back to basics. And I probably would combine that with having more power in the sound. Correct? So let's talk a little bit about posture. I want you to try to really roll your shoulders back. There you go. And stay wide this way. Okay? Don't be afraid to take up space and find your light. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? So roll your shoulders back. Think wide here. A little bit of an angle up so that the light is actually hitting your face. Thank you. Now let me see you. Do that. Roll your shoulders for me again. Okay, I want even more shoulder roll. Don't be afraid. Come away from me. Yes. And then stay with, see how when I did that, there's space now here? Can you do that again? Yeah. And keep the space. Yeah. Keep the space. And now relax the arms, but from here. So the shoulders stay wide. Now relax your arms. Thank you. Really relax here. This is still tight. Okay, well, there. That's more relaxed, but the shoulders stay here. So now, when you look at yourself in the mirror, and you do this a few times, because that's what you really need to do, is find a way to do this that makes you comfortable with how you look, but it also makes you comfortable and open to sing, okay? So what you've just done is open up your ribs in a whole different way. Can you feel that? Okay, do it one more time with me. So roll, keep it open, and then relaxed, but the shoulders are really wide. There! That's great, actually, okay? So, there should always be a little bit of space here, there you go, but no tension. We want this really relaxed. Shoulders are wide, back is really tall, okay? We're already better. Now you have space to do something with your ribs, okay? So now, as you're thinking about your breath, what are you thinking?
Low.
Okay. Anything else? I find the number one thing amongst singers is so much fun. We tend to not have detailed answers to this question. I like to give people a really 1, 2, 3. This is how you breathe, breaking it down kind of thing, and then later let you be more flexible with it. But for example, I tend to think, unhinge my jaw, create a space. Okay, so I've created a space inside, both up and down. Relax my tongue. Breathe in through my nostrils and through my mouth at the same time. Fill front, sides, and back, and then engage. Okay? Now that's a lot of detail about something that happens in a split second. But by taking it that far into detail, then you can work on all of the little parts of it when one isn't working as well as the other. So take a breath for me and let me see how that looks for you. Keeping the shoulders back. So you're in practice room right now, nobody's here. Feel free to really open up, stay wide, find a nice, tall, wide position. There you go. Relaxed but tall, wide. Expansive. Okay? Expansive. Now take your breath you should feel the ribs, now that there's space, really open. Okay? Try it. You feel that? Okay, good. That's good. Now I want to get a little more detailed with it. I'm going to put one hand right here on the top of my ribs. You put your hand on mine. You're going to mirror this, okay? See how much wider you can move your ribs. See that? Now put your hand on your own ribs. A little higher, right there, okay. Because your lungs, I mean, we spend all this time talking about low breath. It's true, we have to use our diaphragms. But our lungs are actually all up here. So they need to move. They need to move front, sides, and back. So unhinge your jaw, do your breath, stay nice and wide, and fill your lungs. Front, sides, and back. Do you feel how much air you can get in? Okay, now hands down. Keep the breath there. Keep it nice and wide and tall. Your tank is open. Now let it fill. Front, sides, and back. There. You see that? That's a full breath. It's both high and low. It's not high in the sense of high. It's open in every direction. Okay? Take that kind of breath. And then we're going to add one little thing about support. Okay? So you're totally full. And then you're going to sing, right? So you imagine that the air starts. I like to tell people that I imagine the air starting from my navel, somewhere really low, and that the air starts, and that this image of air flowing up a tube comes out the top of my head and forward. And then the tone happens somewhere here, meets the air, and moves with the air forward. Just take a couple breaths imagining that process. You don't have to sing yet. Take a couple breaths imagining that process. So you're wide. You take a nice big wide breath, front, sides, and back. When you're ready to sing, you engage your lower abs. The air starts to move. Okay? And imagine that train of the air. And now the sound is going to meet it and ride the train. Okay? All right, try the first phrase that way and let's see what happens. Let the air fill your tank front, really fill the sides, and fill the back. When you're all the way full is when that very low engagement starts. People can say support. People can say, I don't know, apacho, apoyo, whatever you want to say, whatever language you want to say it in. It's really a very lower tucking type of thing, contraction of muscles. I once heard Pavarotti say that it was where you go to the bathroom. He said it in a much more vulgar way. I like to just quote him when saying it because it makes me sound nicer than me having to tell you to do this. But it's, in your case, maybe like squeezing a penny between your butt cheeks or something like that, okay? That low. It's glutes, it's happening, it's contracted, it's a real muscle movement that starts the energy, the kinetic flow of the air, whoosh, okay? Yeah? Yes. All right, so I'm going to be the air with my hand, okay? My hand, okay? I start here, and I'm going to start moving when you're ready for it to start moving, and then it's going to meet the sound of you falling. Just try that, okay? One hand on your ribs, so you get a nice wide breath. There you go. Good. Okay? I want to try the very beginning again. Don't lock your knees, because if anything is tense, this doesn't work, okay? Just unhinge, fill. for your life, okay? It's a real, okay? This is nothing like I'm, pushing slightly. This is force, okay? But the right muscle is forcing, right? Not the wrong ones. Glutes open. I feel like I'm channeling my personal trainer. Here we go, one more time. So when you've gotten this open and you're singing, I like to think wide, reset. Meaning I'm singing and I'm going wider, the opposite of what you actually feel. Because you feel like I'm running out of air, you need to go the other way. It's like I'm running out of air, so I won't, okay? It's this feeling. You can even do that for a while with your hands, okay? Seriously, because we need this open, all right? Okay, and then reset. Connect to the ground, but you're not locked into it. There you go. I'll breathe for you. You sing. Okay. What do you feel that you understand? Put it in your words and then tell me where your doubt is.
I mean, I understand how my voice teacher always tells me only take in the air that I'm going to need instead of taking like a huge breath every time, because then what am I going to do with all the extra air?
Have you ever had extra air?
Yes, but then that also means that I'm usually like singing piano and I'm not really.
Okay. Well, obviously, you have a voice teacher who clearly understands you in a way that me meeting you for 5 minutes can't, and has wonderful things to say about it. I think that while you're getting this down, taking all the air you can all the time is okay. There's not really. I personally have never experienced having too much air, but maybe that's an issue with you. Maybe it could also have to do with what I'm trying to get at is trying to relax some things and make the right muscles work while the others are relaxed. That's my goal set here. So I'm trying to get you to focus on squeezing your glutes instead of squeezing here and in jaw tension and a little bit of locked knees, okay? And the first thing we've done is really open you up, okay? And actually, imagine, have you ever sat in one of those pool thingies like with the floaters that have arms? Imagine that, you're like this. There, do that. There you go. Aha, that's your space. That's your space. Now you're open to breathe. Eventually, of course, you want to let that relax, right? But for now, it's okay to practice even there so you can keep that rib cage nice and hot, because that's going to help. And then I only want you to wide. That's it. Just do that. Just simplify it for a second, okay? Let's try the first phrase one more time. Whatever happens in the singing pattern, just squeeze your glutes and stay wide. But could we hear something different? Who heard something different that wants to tell me what it was? Because I hear something different, but I'm very close. Who can tell me from out there what they heard different? Someone, anyway. Yes?
A more stable sound.
A more stable sound?
And a more resonant sound.
More resonance? So things are happening in here because the energy is coming from here. Okay? When I first heard you saying, the first thing I see is this jaw tension. But rather than, and you probably thought a lot about your jaw tension and talked about it, so rather than talk about it, I'm like, let's focus on something else, where the energy needs to come from. Instead of saying, hey you, don't be tense, I'm trying to say, hey you, work, and then this doesn't have to. Does that make sense? And that time I heard more volume, and I heard more presence in the sound, okay? Maybe a little different placement even, because one key thing about placement, and I have to wrap this up, the one key thing about placement is you will never get into the right placement unless you have enough support. Those things don't work independently. You can't just be like, here's my placement. Oh, and there's my support. The support produces the placement at the same way that you're manipulating things in your mouth. They don't work independently. You will never, ever have perfect placement without good support. I can tell you that from personal experience and having taken years off of singing and come back to singing, having turned 40, having lost almost 200 pounds, having had incredible changes in my voice. Every time I've had to relearn to sing, it's like those muscles have to be retrained. And you can't, it's like your body's like, I know where placement is, I knew where placement is, I can help you find it. Why can't I get there? I can't get there because the muscles aren't working right now. And when the muscles start to work right again, the placement can go. Because it already knows where to go, it just doesn't have the strength to get there. And the strength to get there can't come from here, or you'll never get there either. It has to come from those really lower muscles. So when you get rid of the jaw tension, let that go, and you get this nice and wide, and you have a good spot to start from, focus on just the glutes. On glutes, and don't let them go. After you initiate the breath from your glutes, squeeze the glutes more through the breath. Actually, squeeze the glutes, the whole phrase, okay? Congratulations, good work. Thank you. Can I give this back to you? Never bad to speak. Yes.
Si éloignait à peine que j'admirais de tous mes yeux.
work on with you. And I'd like first off again to ask you, what is the one thing you would like to see improved in your voice right now?
I'm working a lot right now on releasing the air through a phrase and remaining grounded.
Great.
Because I tend to get so excited.
Yes. What I was going to say also is that, first of all, congratulations, because you're telling us a wonderful story, you're clearly engaged, we're all with you in your storytelling, which is super important. You really don't, can't, how do I say this, you can't do better than that. That's what we're trying to do. But vocally, what we want to look at now is something that I was going to call a little bit, I was going to ask you, which do you prefer the image? A water wheel, maybe going over water, okay? Can you picture that? Or a hamster in the wheel? Which one works for you?
The water.
You like the water? Okay, we can do that. That's fine. So breath, here's where what I wanted to talk about meets what you really are looking to do. Breath is a continuous cycle. It never stops. You're breathing right now. Your heart is beating, hopefully. And those things won't stop your entire life. Okay? You're either breathing in or breathing out. As singers, we learn to control the moment between breath. Most people don't. Most people live their entire lives just breathing in and breathing out. Okay? Lungs doing their thing, you're not having to tell them what to do. It's great. But what I want to get at is this cycle, never ending, okay, needs to not take detours. What I see when I see you sing is I see detours of breath. Meaning, I might breathe in, and as I'm starting the phrase and singing out, sometimes my direction of air movement is this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way, back. Okay. And I need it to be, I breathe in, I sing out, steady stream forward. I breathe in, I sing out, steady stream forward. I breathe in. I don't get confused between this and placement now.
Right, no.
Now, probably you sat with your teacher and figured out this note goes here, and this note goes here when I sing this vowel. Okay, you've probably already done that, and that's fine. Those are different things. Air motion is steady. And it's this. Literally, I breathe in, I go up, I go out in one singular direction. I don't change lanes. Okay? I go straight. Like I want you to imagine your air as if it were actually either a river, okay, or I like the idea of a tube. And this tube, if right now your tube is kind of like this, okay? I need you to make it like this, and it needs to be more like PVC pipe that doesn't bend, okay? It just goes in that singular direction, okay? Can you think about that a little bit while we're singing?
Yeah.
I'll try to guide the tube. Let's do the first verse.
You just start right up.
Okay, yeah, that'll never work. Okay, take a second, really breathe. Gotta get all the way full, tuck and go. In your case, it's a kegel. Okay, serious talk. Okay, unhinge. Nice and wide, like we already learned. Space here, you're grounded, you're going to be full. Kegel and go.
Je suis encore tout étourdie.
Breath and go.
Je suis encore tout engourdie.
Okay, that one I didn't like because the little ending came off the air. It was like, I'm being artistic now. Okay? You can be artistic on the breath.
Right.
It's like pianissimo. I know a lot of people will tell you, okay, let's move the pianissimo to the back so it's nice and small.
Yeah.
But you can actually do pianissimo in front. It's going to be the best pianissimo anyone ever heard because it's going to still be present in the hall and it's going to just be smaller. Instead of like an effect that maybe we don't hear. Okay? Let's do it. Unhinge. And the reason I went in at the beginning is because you're not getting full enough to start.
Okay.
Okay, how does that happen? You need more time to breathe.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Do we hear a difference with that? Yeah, everybody's like, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like it better?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is nothing like rocket science. I'm not doing every breath like a mini circle.
Yeah.
I'm doing your full arching phrase.
Yeah.
And you're taking little breaths that fit in the phrase,
Yeah.
in that tube, if you will. And it's not going a little back, a little forward, a little this, a little that. Your ear is moving in one stream. Good. Good. Next thing to do, I told you there were two,
Yeah.
is we're not going to ever let you sing anymore below your cheeks.
Okay.
Sometimes you do. Kind of sometimes in your middle voice, sometimes when you want to be artistic, and almost all the time when you're not thinking about it. When you're singing high notes, you get into a nice placement that is like here and up somewhere. And sometimes you move it a little forward, and sometimes you move it a little bit backwards. I would like to suggest that you play with the idea of even singing your lowest notes in that same place that you sang the highest. Because the highest pitches for you are I don't know if they're the easiest to produce, but they're the easiest for us to hear because they have perfect resolution most of the time. So they're up here in a really nice place, and if you can sing your lowest pitches there too, we'll have a unified sound. Can we think about that and keeping everything in this arch tube thing? Okay, let's just take it from where we want. Shoulders back, you're nice and wide. Set up the breath with a real full breath. Okay, the last pitch at the end of that phrase fell off.
Okay.
I'm not letting anything go now.
Yeah.
Gloves are off. Here we go. One more time. Can you see how you want to come in your middle voice? You're like,
Okay.
match the vowel first, and then you put the word back in. Okay, take out the gliss and just match the vowel. Okay, do you hear how that's not the same placement? Try again. I want the bottom note the same place that the top note is. Better! Can you tell the difference?
No.
Well, it's big. It's big. Do we hear a difference? Okay, so you're back at your high pitch. Do it one more time. Vowels, just vowels. Okay, you know what it needs? It just needs to be higher. And that needs top. That needs glue. That needs kegel. That needs something here moving. Did you start your out? Just go vowels with me, and here's what you're going to do. You're going to kegel before you start your breath, and then I'm going to get glued when it's time to switch between the top and the bottom notes. So that you actually, you know that old choral idea of all the notes go think up while you sing down? It's this. It's the same principle, okay? It's got to be higher. All right? Just vowels. Glues.
Sorry.
So it's in between the notes. It's okay. It's in between the notes. It's not on the note. It's in between. The top, or the glue, or the contraction, or the apagio, apoyo, support, whatever you want to call it. I need muscle movement. Yes. Can you tell? Can you tell?
Yeah.
You feel
I think it's a
something?
little more grounded. Yeah.
A little more grounded. Okay, we're going to use the word grounded then. That's good. Could we hear a difference? Okay. What it is to me is singing with your voice all in one place. Okay? Because that's how it sounds. Many of you may listen to famous people on YouTube and things and in concerts now, and probably sit at home and think, I don't know if I really like their technique, because I'm not sure that's really bel canto, right? Oh, she's singing in the back. Oh, that's that Eastern European thing, right? I mean, that's what we do. We're singers. We sit and talk like that. But you know what they have in common, and kind of why they're working? Because they're singing in one place all the time. And that one place might be your left ear. Maybe it's not my favorite place because I like bel canto and it's a free sound and it's light and it's dark and it's round. Not my goal, but they managed to get it all in that one place. And that's why it sounds consistent. Does that make sense? I want you to think about that next time you're listening to some of these people now who are famous, okay, that are singing opera today, and really think about that and think, well, maybe that's not where I'd like to put it, but can you hear it's a unified sound? And that's going to be the difference at the end of the day between a more professional sound and a student amateur sound. Is it in one place all the time? Does it sound unified? Does it sound like one voice, top to bottom? Okay? And that's what we're doing here. This is the nitty-gritty of how to do that. 2 minutes. So we have time to put those two things together with words. Same phrase. You're wide, you're going to get full, you're going to tuck, you're going to stay in the tube, and you're going to place it high. That means you have to actually contract as you sing low, think high. Okay? Here we go. Unhinged. Just to be clear, where is that place that you just said you're hiding? Where is it for you?
Oh, the high?
Yeah. Where do you feel?
I feel it here.
You feel it there? Then that's where I want everything.
Okay.
Whatever that feels like to you. Okay?
Je suis encore toute étourdie. Je suis encore toute engourdie.
Good.
Excusez-moi, excusez un moment de moi.
Don't let it fall. Good. Was that not good? That was good. Did you hear the change? Did we all hear a change? She needs some reaffirming. It was a good change, wasn't it? It really was. It was. Now, it's hard work. It's very nitpicky, but it's worth it because in the end, it's a much more unified sound. I think this is your music, Anna. Ciao for now, those of you who have to go. Nice to meet you. Go forth and sing healthily. Okay, so we have fun.
It must really not like that.
Was it something I said?
Right.
The few, the crowd.
The brave.
Dove trascorsi, dove mi spense, delirio d'amor. Sposa, Euridice,
Sometimes we think, and by the way, you're very expressive, and we enjoy your performance, and we're aware that you have a lot to say, and are intent on saying it. But sometimes we can actually get in our own way as performers by, in some ways, doing too much. I had someone tell me once, less is more until it's a bore. Yeah, there's some truth in that. What I want to go with is this idea of channeling your air, channeling your phrase, channeling even your acting, everything that's going on in one direction. Because watch me now, if I'm doing this, and I'm telling you a story, when I move, your focus is going to go with me. But if the action, if I'm doing this and I'm telling you a story, and then I'm kind of doing other things, it doesn't carry the same presence, right? Because I'm telling you where to focus, I've got your attention, and when I move my focus, yours went with it. But if I'm here telling you a story, and I'm kind of doing this, and then I'm over here like that, and then things happen over here, and then I might look down, it's not going to give you the same intensity not saying don't do this. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying when you do what you do it with purpose, do it with intention, and make us come with you to what we're talking about. Okay? Because if anything, it's just casually happening on the side. And by the way, that's where I love judging like solo and ensemble little kids. And I got the chance to judge even middle schoolers this year. It was so cute. There's some talented middle schoolers, by the way, in the state. And they like will conduct themselves. You ever see that? Little people in choirs and stuff conducted. Sometimes we do things without knowing we're doing them, which is why in the practice room, the mirror is your friend. Okay? I hated the mirror. Let me tell you, I still hate practicing in front of a mirror. We're so critical of ourselves by nature that doing that is painful. But I really encourage you to take the fear of seeing yourself as you really are. Say, okay, fear, you're real. I acknowledge you. You exist, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to get better. That's the only way. It really is. And so you practice in the practice room. You see what's going on, and whether it's action for the stage or whether it's a technical issue, it will come to light. It really will. And if you video yourself, watch it. I'm the guilty party who grew up in the era of tapes. And I used to tape lessons. I actually have all my lessons from when I was, first singing. And I don't think I've ever listened to them. Why did I tape them? It's the same thing. You guys, you probably had a teacher who made you keep a journal. Did you ever read it? I mean, that's the real thing. It's the question of what you're going to do to make yourself better. And exactly. And if you're going to do whatever you're going to do, just do it. If you're going to video yourself practicing, we'll watch it. It's painful. I'll probably watch this later and just think, oh, why did I do that? Because that's the nature of this. But every time we're getting better. And that's a part of this, okay? Now, having said that, I want to move on to your technical situation and ask you a very interesting question. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Do you like listening to yourself sing? You don't even have to answer that out loud. I want you to think about it. Do you like listening to yourself sing? And this is why I ask it that way. Because technically, what I hear happening with you, I believe to be a response to internal listening. Have you ever heard someone say, you can't hear your voice inside as we hear it outside, or something to that effect? Because you have this inner ear that's listening, and we all have just that. We don't have that, perspective of you, okay? I hear in your technique some placement and some tension and some things that are happening, I believe, as a result of trusting your inner ear listening to yourself sing. So that's why I asked, do you like listening to yourself sing? Because normally what happens is when we start to learn to ride the air and everything comes out, we feel less in control. Bye guys, thank you for coming. We feel less in control of what's going on. We've been singing just long enough to have learned how to control certain things. And we think that control, the way we're doing it, whether subconscious or consciously, is what's getting us through this phrase, okay? But getting on the air will actually feel a lot more like out of control for a while, okay? So I go back to that original question, do you like listening to yourself sing? And I would imagine that things you like about your voice, I can probably already tell you where they are, because they're where this has started to kind of go. Yes, okay? All right? So here is my suggestion now. So if that is like the doctor giving you your diagnosis, this is my receta, this is my prescription, okay? What I'd like for you to do is try something very crazy with me and pretend that you are a coloratura. I love the laugh. I love the laugh. I love the laugh because, the laugh is spoken like a real mezzo. Why would I want to be a coloratura? No. I'm a mezzo. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, I'm a mezzo. Get the good stuff, okay? No, I'm teasing you. But it's this take a detour with me, okay? So, and if you want to sing back in the back later, go for it. But I'm going to recommend this as a way to eliminate neck tension, tongue tension, and all these other little things that are kind of getting in your way, okay? So here we go. You know a little bit about breath already. I've already talked about it a few times, but I want to roll the shoulders back. I can't say it enough, you guys. You know what it comes from? I think it comes from sort of this idea that we need to ask, permission or even subconsciously excuse ourselves from being here. Hello, take up space. Don't hide. Take up space. I need you to take up space on the stage. Get lots of space here in the ribs so you can be nice and open. Fill your tank all the way, and then you're going to kegel and go, and you're going to sing incognito lines. All the way up there. Okay? Just where we want to start.
Do you think we should apply this to rest it everywhere?
I think we can apply this everywhere, wherever you feel like most comfortable. I think
Well,
maybe
let's start with the aria.
Yeah, let's start with the aria and then go back to Russet Man. Singing there. Okay? You are still a mezzo in all your glory, even more so because the natural beauty of your sound will come through. Right now, by swallowing it and keeping it tense and back and big, okay, it doesn't have the agility to be on the air and come out freely. Okay? That was the more technical explanation. So good is the short version. I know it probably felt weird and out of control. So let's go to the rest of the team, but do the same thing, because I liked it. I think it sounded like an even sound. It sounded sustainable, healthy, controlled, and even though it might feel less control, it sounded like it was more control, because here's the other misnomer. We think that we're controlling, but we're doing the opposite. We really are. The air is so much better at controlling your sound and making it even and all those things you want it to be than you will ever be with whatever other muscle you decide to control with your left eyebrow, You're controlling it, no. Okay? One more time, gotta get it wide.
So rest.
Rest it. Yes, thank you. Well, it's actually pretty on time then. Now, for you, there's a vowel issue or two, okay? You're like in the place, but then you find a vowel that pulls you back, okay? So don't let it. Just don't let it. Just be like, I don't want to go back. I'm staying forward, okay? This means that when you are in the practice room, you need to pick your best vowel in that forward placement and then match every vowel to it. Oh, it's not glamorous, but it's what we do, okay? And you have to do that in every pitch.
We'll pick E for everything.
So if E is the vowel you like, then you want everything to match E, okay? If oo is the vowel you like, which I might actually recommend at this moment, then match oo, okay? Try it one more time. Don't let it fall back. Shoulders, one. Don't forget to keep going. Not bad. But even from the beginning, we weren't really sure we wanted to go 100% on the air. We were like, okay, I'm going to go forward, but guess what? I'm going to still make it that place that I like, okay? So, just do this for me, just for fun. Same thing, rest of the T, but not an oo.
Okay, so
Just an
this
oo. No words.
is-
Ooh. Vowel.
Okay.
actually beautiful and right here and final, but it lacked the ping that you had from the E, so I need it in the middle, okay? And kind of with that ah too. So just try ooh, but think about ooh being more forward. Yes, actually yes. Can you sing ooh in the E place? That's beautiful. Thank you. You're so smart. Okay, shoulders back. Go back to E again.
Okay.
Go back to E again. And this time, keep E above your cheekbones. Yeah, above. It's not going below your cheekbones. You cannot sing below here. This is your cut. Okay, now we're talking. Can you go back and put some ooh in that sound, but keep it in the ooh in the E place? Very nice. Do we like?
We found it.
We found it. Yes. So what you did is you found your place. Now every vowel has to somehow find its way to that spot. Okay? Yeah, and here's the trick.
It's gonna take a second.
Oh, it takes more than a second. It takes a lifetime. I don't know. I'm still working on it, okay? So what you need to think about is that every time, this is what I was just about to say, every time you sleep, or every time you don't practice a week, or every time this or that, or whatever happens in your life, yeah, you have to actually have another ear, someone you trust, to hear you get to that place again. And then you get there, and you're like, oh, that's what that feels like. Okay, now let me match. Because if you try to find it on your own, a lot of times we think we find it and we haven't. Eventually, you'll get a muscle memory of that, and you'll remember the sensation of it so well that when it's not there, you will be frustrated. And you will be like, why don't you go there? I know where you are. And then you'll have to find out what else is going on in your body that's not allowing that to happen. This is the lifetime of a singer. I'm just trying to use you as an example so you understand and everyone understands that the lifetime of a singer is one that continues to grow because your body changes. Throughout your life, your body is constantly changing. It's aging. I'm sorry to say. It's aging.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. For a few more days, and then after, let me tell you, when you're excited for it until you're like 40, and then you're like, no, please no more. But the point here is that your body will always change, and you will always have to adapt. So not today and tomorrow, actually, at the same age, are different. Sometimes you're holding more fluid than others.
Or more fluid.
Or whatever. You know, it's just the reality. Your tissues are not the same. So you have to have this sort of, other set of ears guiding you to the position, and then remember every time when you're warming up, my advice to you is find the position. In your warm-up, be like, before you do anything, obviously get the voice moving, but then be like, okay, where's the position? Where's the position? Oh, there's the position. Okay, now I can sing. Now I can do the rest of my vocal leaves. Because I don't want to do my vocal leaves outside of position, right? Okay? Now, we're going to have to let you go, but I want to encourage you a lot in this. I know that this may feel radically different for you, the way you're used to singing, but for me it's a huge difference, and I feel like it's so much more healthy for you, because it's eliminating a lot of tension.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of here.
Yeah, well, you are. Good. So if you're trying to get out of here, then this is how.
Yeah.
Okay? Be a
Thank you.
coloratura. No, you're welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Oh, I love this. You can do whatever you like. It's never wrong to say who you are.
Okay, my name is Susan Lee. I'll be singing O Deus meu amado ben by Donaudi.
O Deus meu amado
I think I'm just making my sound a little bit darker.
Okay.
Because to use too big. I'm trying to think a little bit brighter, but
Okay.
when I got like thinking about the emotion things, dynamic things, I go a little bit dark on the back side of my pen.
Okay, works. That's a great translation for some of the things I would like to look at with you. I would like to see if we can, if you would be willing to let me, get your voice in a position where it's more consistent and even. Do you feel like you're getting a little bit of a wobble at places? Do you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. That's going to be the first thing to sort of stand out to our ears. And I don't, how do I say this? I wouldn't, not even, I don't think it's a bad thing to say. I'm going to say it because I personally, everyone with age gets more length in their vibrato, kind of like the space between it gets wider. That's an age thing. But we want to like eliminate it and stay sounding as young, as long. And when it happens with a younger singer, it's usually a result of undue pressure for a while and producing sounds in a way that have sort of done things to the folds. And the folds now don't have the freedom of complete equal motion. The way we're going to fix this is actually so simple, okay? It's a lot more simple than anyone can imagine. I just want you to do the unthinkable. I want you to pretend you're singing straight tone.
Okay.
Because you won't.
Okay.
Okay? I guarantee you won't get all the way to straight tone. Unless maybe you completely change your vocal production. But don't. Sing the way you were singing. Of course, imagine going more forward. Do all the things we've just been talking about. Get wider, fill your tank, tuck and go, keep one line. Okay? Do all of that. Forward singing. But now imagine that you're singing straight tone.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
First phrase. Okay, that breath won't do. I'm sorry, I did that to a couple people, didn't I? That breath just won't do.
Okay.
We've got to have more time. Okay, you've got to go all the way to out. Okay, get your floaties on. There. Really open up. There. A little bit more. Thank you. Thank you. There. Okay. Okay. Now breathe. Okay, can I adjust something? Sorry. Can we breathe through our nose and our mouth at the same time?
Okay.
Okay, good. Go back. Do it again. Send it here. Out your unicorn. Okay? Good. Already better. Go back. Do it again. Now add the straight tone in the unicorn. I'm holding you back because you want it flaps. There you go. Straight tone. Better. This is already better. Can you hear that? Did you realize that you didn't go all the way to straight tone? I didn't turn you into, an English choir boy, all right? You just thought straight tone. And now we're gonna add the other key. Because there's a time and place for straight tone. I mean, it sounds like the enemy, it's kind of to bel canto, but there's a time and place, right? In an English choir. But what we'll do now is tuck. We gotta tuck. There's not tucking going on. So you're gonna have to kegel, and you're gonna have to overdo before you can balance, okay? So I don't want anyone to get overexcited and be like, oh, she's telling me to do like sit-ups and contractions, and that can't be healthy, and no. But what I want you to do, just you, in your land, you need to let me have this all the way back, and then you need to actually kegel and really imagine that you're raising the whole lower abdomen floor, and that you maintain it squeezed through the entire phrase.
Okay.
All right. Think. Thank you. What do we think? Yes? Better, no? Big improvement. The vibrato is sopranos with bigger instruments than yours, older than you, with bigger vibrato problems, wobbles out the yin-yang, fix it, but it doesn't happen overnight. These muscles have to get stronger. So every time you do it, it gets stronger. And every time you do it, the vibrato will get more even. It just will. Today, you being able to produce this change already tells me that you can continue to practice this and perfect it. Okay? And I've heard the change in your singing, and it's dramatic. Okay? Dramatic. Working professionals here. Okay? So you can too. Key, shoulders back. You still won't do that by yourself if I don't hold you. So I know it's uncomfortable because of all the social things we put on ourselves, but be free. Okay? Do this with me. I'm serious. Okay? We're gonna have like a musical theater moment. Okay? All right. So, do you feel that?
Yes.
I'm open. One more time. By yourself and staying wide. I'm not gonna hold your shoulders back. Squeeze. Or shake or be out of your control, your instinct, all of our instinct, is going to be to go, okay? You have to do the opposite. You have to actually mentally say, I will not squeeze my throat, I will squeeze my glutes. Seriously, it's like a mental, and I will sing straight tone. Okay? Same thing, one more time. Shoulders all the way back. You're a superstar. With this flow of motion of the air is moving, and the air doesn't move unless something pushes it. And in this case, what we want to push it is the glutes and the lower Kegel muscles, okay? Do you feel confident on that? Yeah? Did thinking straight tone help?
Yes.
It does. It's a funny trick.
Yeah.
The first time someone told me to do it, I was like, what? It just fixed it. And so I recommend it, and I've seen it work with a lot of different people. It doesn't work with everybody, but it does. If something changes you're actually probably contracting, subconsciously.
I have a question then.
Yes.
Then do I have to squeeze from the beginning of the phrase to the entire phrase, or do I have to squeeze my lower ab just end of the phrase?
I want you only, to squeeze from beginning to end, but the squeeze actually gets stronger.
Okay.
It's like as you're holding it, imagine that you're, what's a good image for that? So if you're picking something up, there's that moment where it actually feels like it gets heavier because the motion is continued. It's the same thing. You're squeezing and the air's moving up, and in order to support it as it goes up, you have to squeeze more, squeeze more, squeeze more, squeeze more, squeeze more. Again, do not try this at home without supervision. I'm not asking you to squeeze up here. I am actually saying stay wide up here. I'm saying squeeze your very lower muscles, your buttocks, squeeze where you Kegel, squeeze your very lower abs, okay? Don't let them go. Sometimes if you ever take Pilates or yoga, and people always talk about their core, and that's a word people use a lot. This is what we're talking about, core, where you stabilize everything from. And a funny little story about that really quickly, because I know we're at time, but when I was probably close to your age, I went to study for a summer to get a very intensive language program at Middlebury College, and I went to get a massage, and the woman asked me, she said, "Are you a singer?" And I was like, how does she know? I mean, I was at a language school with people from like the FBI and all kinds of other people, you know? This wasn't just for singers. It would be different if she was in Bloomington, you know? But she wasn't. So I said, okay, yes, how did you know? And she said, well, only singers and swimmers have that muscle exactly like you because of the way you use your lungs. Because the lower abs get stronger and it creates a sort of like pooch thing here that you will never get rid of. You will not have a flat lower, sorry. Just won't, I don't care how much you diet. You can get rid of all the fat, but you're gonna have an extra muscle here, okay? Because it's really developed. And another funny story is that years later when I had a back injury, I had to go to physical therapy, and they were like, okay, you know, contract like you're dealing with a normal person who does sit-ups and contracts, and she's like, that's weird. How is that possible? Your upper and your lower aren't connected. You like have no upper abs, and your lower abs are really strong. And it was because I had developed that and kept this wide. You know, trying to keep this relaxed and wide and this tucked. Later, I had to learn to have upper abs too, as I started to get more physically, you know, fit. But for singing, it's really interesting. These muscles are where you support from, and they just have to take the time to grow. That's the bottom line. As you grow here, this will become more stable. But focus your attention, it's just my advice, but focus your attention, no matter what your problem is, first on your muscles, and then on the relaxing, the placement, the this, the that, the other. Because until this is working, nothing else will. You just can't force it into place. It has to have something properly putting it there. And we all know when we stop practicing, pianists are notorious. I've talked to people, pianists tell me, if I don't practice a day, I can tell the difference. If I don't practice a week, I can tell a lot more. When I don't practice a month, it takes me, you know, so much longer to get my hands working again. I hear that. Singers, I don't know, everybody's different. I think God chose me to have a voice because he knew I was a little bit like not able to focus every day in a practice room for 5 hours a day. So if I'm doing my 30 minutes, I'm doing good, okay? And he's like, no, we're not gonna give her the violin. You're not gonna give her the piano, no, not this one. She needs shorter practice time. But my point being, when I skip and the older I get, the longer it takes to get back. And it's the same thing, it's muscle. It just has to be trained, and it has to be retrained, and it has to be continuously trained, okay? So be kind to yourself. You just did it all. You fixed it. So you can do this. Shoulders back. Yeah. Take up space.
There you go. Thank you for singing that. I love that. Hello. Oh, good. How's that? Don't remember singing. It's like the Vega hour. Oh,
Hi.
Hey!
performer, you're a fantastic singer, and so many young singers don't use their bodies to sing. They sing from here up. And even though we hear it until we experiment it ourselves, it's really hard to just do that. So I'm going to ask you similar things that I've asked everybody else to do, and that's to get really wide. Imagine that you're grounded but stable. And then I'm going to take it a slightly different turn with you. By the way, placement's lovely, sounds free, beautiful, lots of good stuff going on, okay? I just think the one thing we can truly accomplish today to get this going in a very professional way is understanding, again, this flow of the breath and how it's all channeled in one direction. And for you, I'm going to take a slight different, it's like it's different face to the same coin, okay? I want you to think about the difference between play acting and becoming a character.
Sure.
Okay? This is where I'm going to go with you because it's going to get hopefully the same result. But it's a different facet of the same thing. Okay? Tell me the story of what you're doing right now. What's happening in the opera?
Ancient is talking to her relative, Agatha, and Agatha is worried about her fiance Max, and so at this point, Ancient is trying to cheer Agatha up and just like telling her this sweet little story of how you meet a boy and fall in love and you get married and you become husband and wife.
So you're storytelling within the story. Very interesting, right? Sort of like, there's many times in opera that this happens, some very famous ones where someone's playing someone else, then something playing, right? But you're storytelling within storytelling. To make that clear to us, we need to have clear moments when it's present and you're you, and then clear moments when you're telling a story. When you're you telling a story. So in order to get there, we need to believe that you are your character.
Right.
So, I'm going to channel a little bit of the grand dame herself right now, Martina Arroyo. She was one of my teachers at IU. She used to teach a class called Road Prep. And as a grand dame, she would tell you these wonderful things about what is your character had for breakfast, okay? So you need to, but the point of that is, you need to know enough about this character that you've established and have spent enough mental time in the character to know her so well that you know what she had for breakfast, that you know what she did 5 minutes ago, that you know what happened 3 years ago. You need to have all those sort of details as much as you can filled in, because it's going to give you the ability to be in her skin for a moment. And once you're in her skin and you're really her and you're not just you playing her, playing someone else, then you can tell a story. Okay? But I need that to happen, and I think it'll change your presence, because all of us have different facets, right? When you're on the phone, sometimes when growing up, your mom can tell who you're talking to without knowing who you're talking to by how your voice changes. Yes? Yeah. Because all of us have different facets when we're with different people, when we're in different situations. Different parts of us that are just as true. And what I'm encouraging all of you to find today is this stage presence, posture. It doesn't mean that I'm a target standing like this. Probably you might find me a little more like you are right now.
Oh, yes.
Okay? But when I'm on stage, even if I'm teaching, if I'm singing, if I'm speaking, right? There's energy. It's like your legs, your body, everything goes into action. It's action mode, okay? And this has to be all the time, okay? And so you find that, and that's you, the singer, who finds that. And then you put on the skin of your character. And now this is the weird part. Then you have that sort of little, the little head that grows off the side that thinks about technique, but allows you to still be in the character. Never said it was going to be easy. All right? But right now I want you to go for that. I want you to go for, I'm on stage, so I have amazing wide posture. I am not afraid to take up space because I'm important and valid and have something very important to say and do. And it's worth your time and attention to listen to me. And so now that I'm wide, I can breathe, I I can do all the technical things I need to do by tuck and go. I have energy in all my limbs. And then put on the skin of your character. Remember what you had for breakfast. Okay? And start the first phrase.
Kommt ein schlanker Bursch gegangen, blau vor Hagen ohne Frau. Hell vor Augen und rot von Wangen, ei nach dem kann man wohl schauen, ei nach dem kann man wohl schauen, ei nach dem kann man wohl schauen.
Okay, pause for thank you. What changed for you?
My arms can feel so weird being down at the side. Because like I usually like to be like this.
And singer pose. Yes. There's a time for singer pose.
Yeah, well,
Sure is.
yes. I think I was able to really lower.
You were able to go, I guarantee you were able to be wider because you had more space. And I don't think you can get enough space. You have to have like your arms on the floaties or however you want to think about it for a while to really get used to how wide this really is. Okay? All right. And the one thing that I noticed that I'd still like to maybe give a little technical advice on is that your posture as far as the legs are concerned and where you place your weight. Let's talk about this for everybody, okay? So let's include everyone in this discussion. When you're wide and you're up, and remember I said before that you're present and you're here and there's energy in all your limbs, okay? I know you can't actually see my legs because I'm wearing pants, but the idea is that you're absolutely like a cat. You could go in any direction at any time and both would be correct. But they're choices. They're not floating. Okay? Because floating, do you see what happens to your hip? It's not in position. And if your tank is not in position, it doesn't function properly. So this doesn't let me function properly. Now, it's not to say there's not going to be a director who's going to want you to lay on your back, put your feet in the air, and sing something. It'll happen. I've seen it. I've seen it on stage, okay? It's like there. Sing the aria, you know? But you have to find a way to get the tank, okay? Tank in the position and still use decisions with your arms and legs that make sense to your character in the moment, okay? Without compromising this angle or this angle. This is key right now, guys. It's like your Girl Scout badge. You have one in each direction. You gotta keep them on and keep them up. So no matter what else happens, if you make a decision to go here, or you make a decision to stay, this is still engaged, this is still comfortably wide and present. Can you see that? It's very different from this. Okay? And that's what will happen with your legs. You make a decision when you move your weight from one foot to the other. That's a decision. If it's not, then it will read as distraction.
Yeah.
Okay? Can I see that first verse again?
Sure.
Remember that everything, Remember that everything starts here. So when you're going to tuck, this is where the air is moving from, okay? Make that conscious. All right, arms are wide. Thank you.
Kommt ein schlanker Bursch gegangen, blau vor Hagen ohne Frau. Hell vor Augen und rot.
Is that conscious? Because you know what I just saw? I just want you to make conscious decisions. This is what I saw. Okay? There's like a shift thing happening here, okay? And you're actually taking your core and bending a little bit, and it's going to impact you. So if you're going to want to move, a suggestion would be, if you want to move in that direction, versus, okay? One destabilizes and the other is in position. Now, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? Just be conscious, because what you did is actually actually very cute and very like, I'm trying to look cute for you and tell you a cute story. Don't you like me? Okay?
Yeah.
Versus, I'm here to tell you a story, and I know I'm very cute, and if I want to be cute, I'll be cute. But my core stays the same. Okay? All right. One last time.
Okay.
Kommt ein schlanker Bursch gegangen, blau vor Laken oder braun. Hell vor Nacht, fast rot von Wangen. Ei, nach dem kann man wohl schauen. Ei, nach dem kann man wohl schauen. Ei, nach dem kann man wohl schauen.
Good. Now, what do we think? Yes? We have 2 minutes. Yes, here's the thing. You're subconsciously improving your singing because you don't, what happens in your phrases when you do these kind of cutesy kind of, I would say they're probably habits you have and you don't know, they're subconscious, okay? Probably a part of you as a person, right? And what happens when you do that is it actually, the tank of air is not in full steam ahead. And even a change of 10% is a change of 10%. And maybe not everybody's ear can hear it, but some of us can.
Right.
Okay? And we want it to be 100% all the time. So your placement, your line, all those other things you want to work on are better because you are in a position that is stable. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope that this was sort of like the other side of the same coin for everybody that we've been working on. The same things, but just from the other angle. I only have 1 more minute with you, so I want to just, I got one more thing. Okay, so you're singing a lot with the smile thing happening, which is great when we use it as a tool to get the voice into a position. But I want to tell you, you can lift your palate inside without moving your mouth outside. Your mouth is completely free to do whatever it wants, and the inside palate can actually work independently. So, just quickly. Imagine you've seen a roller pen. Okay, take one. Imagine it went through your mouth. It's coming out this side, coming out this side. Do it with me. I'm not the only fool out here. Okay, so we've got this out here like this, right? You've got the roller pen. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
You feel where it's kind of like by your molars?
Yeah.
Now, yeah. Okay, really feel it for a second. You have a roller pen in your mouth. It's round, it's thick.
Yeah.
Okay, it's by your molars. It created a space. Now roller pen up. I'll help you.
Yes, thank you.
Here's your roller pen.
Okay.
You've seen one, right?
Yes.
With the bait?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you feel inside?
Just,
A lift?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the point. It's a lift.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll do the roller pen. Here's this crazy roller pen right here by your molars. Okay? Now I'm going to roller pin it up. Now relax your mouth. Really relax your mouth. I don't want to see anything happening in your lips. You just keep your mouth even closed. Okay? Did you feel how it can still lift? And you didn't have to do anything with your lips? They work independently. Okay? So, while raising the lips can be a tool to get us to get to a good position, eventually they can actually not work in our favor because it's going to not give you the best placement. The truly perfect, sweet spot placement, it's like it feels like it's literally coming out your brain. And it's so high, and it's so narrow, and it's such a great position, and your palate is so high, and your lips are so relaxed. And you can get all of the squealo that you're getting from that. Because that helped you, that bite the apple, it helped you get there, but it's only going to take you half where you have to go. It gets you there. What I did with the roller pin, did you feel how that was slightly in the back raising? So we've got to get that in the front raise, and that in the back open. Okay?
Yes.
Yes? One more time singing. Sorry, but I have to hear it. I have to hear it. I have to hear you do it. Okay. So, relax. not playing. You are the character. I've roller pinned you up. You're not smiling, although you're very cute. You're just, yeah, relax.
Okay.
Oh, she doesn't know how to not smile. Okay. Relax. Okay. Now, take your breath and you're ready to sing.
Okay.
Exactly. Relax. Inside your mind, say da da da.
Okay.
Kommt ein schlanker Bursch gegangen,
Talk and go. Separate and roll the back up, and we're going to keep this relaxed. Now it's going to feel a little bit out of control because you're used to getting that with this, and you need this. You still need to raise that front more than you were this time, like you do when you do that.
Okay.
But you need to be able to do that without tension. And you need to, here's the other quick thing, you need to separate that from the vowel. Because for you, you're only doing this on some vowels.
Okay.
Okay? So it needs to be completely separated from the vowel. You can sing ah, you can sing you can sing ooh, and you don't have to move your mouth. I call it ventriloquisting. Okay? Think about those things, let them gestionate. You come along with it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's your music. I was looking.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wait, here's your pencil.
Oh, that's my pencil. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Where I put it. Oh, thank you. Hello. Rum.
Bonheur
question of what do you want to focus on? What are you most trying to improve about your voice?
I'm trying to focus on a more legato sound.
Oh, that's always nice.
Yeah. I tend to sing note for note many times, and I'm just like, no, just like do it.
Okay.
So that's a personal struggle.
That's your personal struggle. Thank you for sharing. My name is Mary, and I'm working on legato. Okay, so good. I would like, yes, that I think will be achieved by continuous motion of airflow and cycle work. I think it all goes back to that same wheel of like we're constantly involved in the either breathe out on the line, single tube motion, breathe back in, and getting our body involved. That actually will help and improve your legato as well. Legato is a funny thing. I think that for all the good intention in the world, we can't just turn it on. The same way you can't just turn on placement unless this is working, okay? I would like to step back and work a little bit on something that is perhaps particular to you, but it's particular to everyone also who needs to engage more. But in you, I think it manifests a certain way that hopefully we can help you. Have you noticed how have you watched yourself sing and sing? I have to first back up and ask, have you been sick recently?
Not really.
Not really? So you don't have a lot of phlegm going on?
Yeah, I wasn't.
There we go. So I hear your phlegm, and I hear I'm going to give you again, this is sort of like the doctor's prescription moment, okay? My assertion is that you are not quite on the flow of your breath, and that your breath, the way you visualize mentally your breath, is producing something that equates to this instead of this. I don't hear flip, and I think flip is where I want to focus with you, especially with tenors. Tenors are notorious for this. You have to work on it, okay? So what I want to concentrate on is, you've seen me work with this wheel. So as you breathe in, okay, you're full, and then you'll go like bam, and the air will come up. Imagine the air coming up and going out in one direction. That will help your legato. But for you, I want to focus on exactly how that air comes up. Imagine that your PVC pipe, if you have one, is kind of where your spine is, and maybe a little bit outside and the small of your back, right there, okay? So that it goes up here and flips over that way to come out. I need flip in your sound. I need this, okay? It's going to allow you to land on the pitch instead of coming up to the pitch and never quite getting there, and then the phlegm gets stuck, and sometimes I can hear it rattling and affecting your sound, and when you try to clear it, what you end up doing is causing yourself face tension. That's my full analysis. Okay? So in order to get out the face tension and get the air working and get your end result of beautiful legato, do this with me. Okay? Find where your jaw unhinges. Okay? Yeah. And know that you can do two kinds of unhinge, right? You can do Pac-Man unhinge, or you can do, like Pac-Man, maybe, or you can do this unhinge. And I want that unhinge here. Versus. Can you do that? Exactly. Thank you. So what you just created was space in the back. Now, as you unhinge, think relax. Feel what happens in your tongue. Unhinge and relax. Let your tongue be free. Let your tongue be heavy. Now, in that position, I also want to do the other thing, which is lift the soft palate. So you basically, the bottom half of your mouth just went and created space. Now I need the top palate to raise. So, some lovely ladies earlier showed us this demonstration of, I want you to do that. I want you to think inside. Do it once for the feeling. Feel what happens inside. Now relax. Do it just inside, flare your nostrils. There. Did it do it again? Just by flaring your nostrils? A little, okay. So, unhinge in the back, create your space, there. And now imagine that your palate is also raising, flare your nostrils, a little bit of cheek lift, a little bit there. Did you feel that? Your palate lifted. That's your space. Now, this is neutral position. I know we had to work a lot to get there, but this is your neutral. So this should be starting position. Stay there just a long time. Get comfortable there. Do you feel pain? Do you feel anything weird? It should just feel like I'm relaxed, but I'm present and I'm open. Okay? When I breathe, I create that position.
I'm so
Yes.
sorry, but we're going to have to cut in like 1.5 minutes here because there's a choir that comes in. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go, really quick. So unhinge, create space, think high raise, tuck, and then let the air come up and flip over. Just do the first phrase.
Okay.
And imagine the airflow is my hand. Okay, here we go. Breathe into the space. Unhinge. Relax. Sorry, your air was slow. I wasn't with you. Unhinge. Already better. Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay, one more thing. Okay, so as you do that, okay, so you unhinge, space, physically tell yourself, mentally tell yourself, I'm relaxed, as you breathe, okay? Now, here we go.
I want to thank Mary so much.
No, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. Sorry we have to cut short.
No worries.
It's so hard to keep it on.
Oh, I know.
Here you go, my dear. Do you just press this button?
Oh.